Why? As long as, I don't care if I'm a custodian, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being, like, there's nothing, as long as you work for a living, like,
and believe in what you're
doing. Yep.
And the other piece you said, and do it 100%.
And do it 100%. Yeah. Do it with all you have.
Big it up, big it up. Hear him up.
Welcome to Let's Talk Real with Mel. We are here with Carrie Doyle, and who is I'll say salesperson extraordinaire.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Salesperson extraordinaire. Currently based in Cincinnati, Ohio. And so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I think this is neat. It's kind of cool. It's got a nice little feel to it.
All right. So you're in sales, and that's how, kind of how we met through sales. And so tell us a little bit about, I guess, your sales background. Kind of what got you into sales product. Let's start with that.
So I guess I never really had like that one thing that I was like so great at, right? Like I was exploring from a young age. So I've been in sales since I was 16. So I'd say 15 years. Okay. So about 15 years. And I have done all sales. So I've done conference sales. I've done cold call sales. I've sold advertisement. I've sold cosmetics. I was actually a business manager for Estee Lauder Cosmetics.
Okay.
For 8 years. I know. That's why I don't wear makeup now, because I wore it for 8 years. Right. Right. It was the job. Well, they used to make us put layers on too, so you had to have like 8 pieces. Like it was too much
to really show off.
Yes, it was crazy. Yeah, a lot. So, but I've had sales where I've had to build a clientele, start from scratch, right? Just like nothing, and make it into something in an industry that I really didn't know anything about. But each time there's something about sales that just like puts that fire in my belly, like it gets me, like it's the one thing that I feel like I'm really, really good at, like some people are really good at baseball. Some people are really good at football. But sales is like my sport. Yeah, that's my sport.
Your superpower.
Yeah.
So I feel like,
is there a Super Bowl for sales?
The sales Super Bowl.
Make one. We can make one. We should. Let's do it.
I feel like that with your personality and what, how we've got to know each other over the years, that you could probably, you're in Cincinnati now, but probably could pick you up out of Cincinnati and put you in a different part of the country, in a totally different industry. And within 12 to 24 months, you would be back on top of that field as well. That's what a true, a person who, because like you said, you've done advertising, conference, cold calling, makeup, so that's.
And sales can be tough though, right? Like sales can
it's not easy all the time. Everyone they call you back when you leave a message, they call you right back. They just buy, you tell them what it is, they buy it. Doesn't that?
No, that's not how it works. No? Not at all. Never. I've had days to where I thought I suck. Like I am terrible at this. Like, why am I doing this? Like there's no point to this. There's no career in this. Like I'm just, chasing a dream that's never going to be fulfilled. But then you get that sale and you're like, wow, like I am good at this. Like, it is. It's like, it's just kind of like my medicine. It's my medicine every day, but, sales is not always easy at all. What do you think? You think sales are always easy?
Well, is anything always easy?
No,
right?
Never.
Never. School teacher, police officer, construction worker, electrician, plumber.
Right. Right.
Is
true.
Any of it?
So true.
Contractor, is any of it easy? Life is not always easy.
Never. So true.
I'd say what you put into it is what you get out of it. And I'm sure you've had, just like you had some down times in sales. You've had some good times in sales.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, so speaking of like sales, right? I used to do surveys, and that was still, to me, that was still sales, because it was based off of Like I had to have so many people complete so many surveys a day. And I would call them on the phone. And some of these surveys, Mel, were like they would be like an hour and 45 minutes long. Like,
Oh, wow.
I'm not paying them. I'm not giving them a coupon. I'm not doing anything.
You just have to keep them on the phone
Trying
to get.
to get the complete, right?
Okay.
And I got paid $7 an hour to do that job. And I used to catch a bus 3 hours one way to do this job. But I tell you what, I was the best survey taker ever.
Right.
I was, and I did it with pride. I did. And I would come in, I always had a smile on my face. And I didn't like the job though, but you couldn't tell because I did it, and I did it to the best of my ability. And nobody's perfect at anything. So there were days where, people hung up on me. I'd get an hour through it and then click. They're like, you kept me on the phone. You told me it was going to wrap up in 3 minutes. We've been on the phone for another 30. I got to go. Hang up. But it's I think mindset is really the key to a lot of things, to sales, to being successful, I would say, right? Mm-hmm. To your marriage, to being a mother, to being a father, to being a friend, running a business. Mindset has a lot to do with everything, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So what type of I'm gonna have a question, but I'm gonna come back to it. Okay. What would be your one, if there were one like trophy sale where you can think about, well, either it could be the biggest sale or maybe not the biggest sale, but the sale that was maybe meant the most to you, where you knew that what you delivered, you helped that client, and maybe they didn't want to be helped, or they didn't believe that the product could help them, but you were able to sell that product to them, and it actually changed their life. Or it could be, a commission, like the biggest sale.
The biggest sale, like the best,
or both.
So this is kind of a selfish. So this is definitely. It's not so much about the client for this particular situation. It's kind of sad, but so I lost both my parents 7 years ago. And they both died right before my first daughter was born. And I felt so alone in this world. And like my mindset was just not there. Was going through that period of like, man, I suck at this. I'm not good at sales. Like I got to find something else to do. And I'm putting in job applications for, a lot of different jobs that were not sales related because I was trying so hard to get away from it. And I was working in advertisement. Now this is, so there's different, so people use the term cold calling. Now, I've heard cold calling be used in the real estate industry. And to me, that's not a cold call. Like a cold call is like what I did. A cold call is I literally would get on Yelp and I would eeny, meeny, miny, moe a category. So it could be contractors, lawyers, whatever it would be. And I would pull it up and I would just go down the list. Now that's a cold call. Right. Like they had no idea I was calling, and I would try to sell them advertisement on a sports schedule at that. And they were terrible sports schedules that they didn't even have like the school logo on there. It was like a wannabe, like college. Yeah, it's terrible.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was terrible. So I was fully on commission, no base. Like, so if I went to work and I did not sell, I did not get paid. This close to being homeless with my daughter, this close. So my parents, if I failed, I failed. Like I lost my home, I lost everything, potentially my child, right? Because I have to keep a roof over her head. And I needed $600 to pay my rent. And now I'm a homeowner, but then I was renting. And I didn't think it was going to make me emotional like this. But so I went in and it was like do or die. That was the day I had to sell. I had to sell. Yes.
Picking the category.
Yeah. So I'm picking the category and I come up on lawyers. And I'm like, this is not a good category. Like Mo failed me. Any, meeny, miny, Mo totally failed me. But I went with it. First lawyer I called, she said, don't call me back. Hung up on me. Second lawyer I called, I'm talking to him and the phone gets disconnected. And I thought it was a great conversation. I'm like, why did they hang up on me? Like this was going so well. Like I really thought that I had it. So I just kind of moved on, called probably 250 lawyers within a 3-hour span. Like that's back-to-back calling.
Right.
And day was over. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. My landlord told me if I don't pay my rent, I'm evicted. I went to walk out and I was like, you know what? I'm going to call that lawyer back. The one that hung up on me.
Prematurely, you thought.
Prematurely, right. Called her back. She bought the biggest spot on the schedule. I made $1,000 in commission on that particular day.
One phone call.
On that one phone call. So, and it's kind of funny because I use this all the time with my kids. Like, going one more, or like an extra step, right? Like, do it just one more time. Like, so as far as like when they're doing their, they're studying and you feel like you're done studying, study for just another 5 minutes.
Right. Just
a little bit more, just a little bit. And I just think of how different my life would have been had I stopped and had I not called her back. Now I have 5 beautiful children. I have a fiance and we're getting married in Hawaii.
Okay.
Next year. And I am a second-time homeowner. So, and this is coming from someone that had a credit score of like 400, right? Like I knew nothing about credit. My parents never taught me. I was very uneducated in that area. And so when I decided I wanted to own a home, I did it all by myself. I didn't go to a financial advisor. I just figured out what I needed to do.
In your own education, invested your time and studied up. And so, and let me ask you, did you get these, did everything that you've gotten now, at least financially, come through sales?
Yes, it did. And had I walked away, or one of those, and I think actually some of those some of the applications that I filled out, I think some of those employers did reach out to me. And, I just think how different things would be.
Yeah, had you taken one.
Yeah, so I just said.
Positions, yeah, it could have been different.
Done, right? Like, because I wanted to, really bad. And I was like, I don't want my daughter to think I'm a salesperson. Like, but why? Why? As long as, I don't care if I'm a custodian, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with being, like, there's nothing, as long as you work for a living, like,
and believe in what you're
doing. Yep.
And the other piece you said, and do it 100%.
And do it 100%. Yeah. Do it with all you have. Have you ever gone to like a restaurant before and gone through the drive-through and there's this, like, they hate their job, right? And, or maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe it's not that they hate their job, but they're just like, here. And like, oh, can I have some napkin? And they shut the window in your face. You ever had that happen?
Yeah. They look like what?
Right. But have you ever gone to a drive-through and this person, like, you can tell over the speaker, they're like giving you the best service and you're like, wow, like this person really like they're doing it to the best of their ability. So I feel like how you show up is how you show up everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really. Like just
the way that customer makes you feel. So even when the customer is nasty and the customer sometimes can not be pleasant sometimes.
Right.
But Absolutely. You're still on your A game.
Absolutely.
And providing that service.
Yeah. And it's funny because I have, so now I work for Expresso Agent and we sell leads to real estate agents nationwide. And I say this all the time in my job, but so I don't work on commission. I don't have a sales quota. And I choose that for myself today. And the reason being is because I did the commission thing. Because I have a lot of salespeople that are like, why wouldn't you want to do commission? Like, that's where you make your money. Yeah, I know. But like there's also like the stress of it gives me an ulcer sometimes, Right. So I know that feeling. But so with Expresso Agent, and I call real estate agents nationwide. And I lost my point. Hold on. What were you just talking about?
Well, we were going with it. We were talking about the biggest sale, but then we kind of transitioned into kind of the why you do it. And now you're helping agents and doing it to the best of your ability.
Best of your ability.
Whatever that is.
That's what I was going to say. So, when I talk to some of these agents, they tell me like, oh, I don't want to get on the phones. Like, that's just not for me. And the first question I always ask them is, have you tried? Be the best cold caller that ever stepped face on this earth. You don't know anything until you try. And if you didn't have call reluctance, probably not human. You know, like everybody kind of gets like that little, like whenever you're trying something new, like you get scared. Like I'm nervous. Like my kids were starting a new school and I was probably, you know, I was nervous for that.
More nervous for them than
Yeah,
like,
right. You know, but it's, you never know until you try. And I think that it's important for any business owner or real estate agent or mother or father, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, like it's important to model for the younger generation, right? And we have to try. We have to put forth effort in everything we do. And I don't think that had I not tried, that I would be in sales still. Because sales is not easy. Sales aren't easy, or sales aren't easy. Sales is not easy.
right.
And but what business do you know that is? You know, like you said earlier.
And it's going to be rewarding.
Right.
So
exactly.
so we all are compensated in life based on the complexity of the problems we solve. So you are helping folks with, you know, more complicated decisions. It's a harder task to do, so the compensation is comparable to that.
Absolutely.
If we were doing a much easier task, then the compensation would not be the same.
No,
I mean, it just doesn't work. That's not the way.
Yes, it doesn't work.
It
doesn't work like that.
Like, you mean all I have to do is move this from here to there once a day, and I get paid $1,000 a day now?
No, don't work that way.
Take $5. Right. But if you want to, you know, do these series of complicated things, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. Some days you'll have good days, some days you'll have bad days. You know, that's where.
I totally agree. Right.
But
I know that with like, and I know like, so I talk to a lot of agents, like real estate agents all day long, and they all are saying the same thing about the market and how but what I don't see from that, and I won't say all of them, but what I don't see from majority of them is the effort, right? Like, and it's not me, you know, I'm not saying I'm trying to judge them, you know, and I'm not saying, oh,
it's an observation.
Yeah, it's just an observation, right? So it's the effort. Like, you're going to get back what you put into everything, just like you said, you know, what you put in is what you're going to get back. So if you don't want to call an expired or for sale by owner, which it's funny because I feel like every real estate agent has the same thing about a for sale by owner. Like, you know, like there's just some type of facade, like they're stigma, something, you know, it's like they eat their young or something, whatever. But, and it's like, well, have you ever tried to call them? Well, no, because how?
Well, I already know what's going to happen.
Right. Your experience is different than my experience, you know, and that's what makes me laugh is when I hear someone tell me, because that's always the first question I ask.
Because they already know.
Because they know, right? They know.
Like a little bird just.
Some little bird told them that flew right past them. And, you know, but I've talked to some of these agents that pick up the phone, even though they did not want to. I mean, you can hear it in their voice that they're just like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. But I think that as a real estate agent, there are 3 major things you have to do. And this is just my opinion. I'm not a real estate agent, but I've been in the industry and I have a lot of knowledge about it. But there's 3 things you have to do. I think you have to door knock. I think you have to send mailers. And I think you have to cold call. I don't know. That's kind of...
Yeah, and like you said earlier, the cold call word, people use that word very loosely.
Very loosely.
Cold call, you know, from
prospect
back in the day was white pages phone book.
Yes.
I'll start with the M's.
Right. Yeah. You just eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
And you started calling. That's the way. I mean, in the 90s, that was the way, and that's the way. That hardcore. That's cold calling.
That's cold calling.
You know.
Yeah.
Nowadays with the internet, I mean, some. You know, they're warm leads.
They're very
typically inquired about the product and services.
These are high intent hand raisers. Like, I'm ready to sell my house. You know, like these are expireds, and everybody tells me the same thing. Oh, I'm not calling expireds. Why would I call it expired? I'm sure they've already got a new agent, or they didn't work with that agent, so why would it work with me? Yeah. Well, because not every person is your person, right? Like, and it's okay. Not every person has to be your person. You have to be okay with that, And you call an expired because they want to sell their home.
Right.
Yeah. So that would be like a homeowner calling you and saying, hey, Mel, I want to sell my house, but I'm not sure if, I want to sell my house, but I'm not sure if, or can you be my agent? And you're like, I don't know. What color car you drive? Oh, I drive a blue car. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm only working with the red cars.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah. Like, I'm working with the red cars, yeah.
Sorry, next year.
Yeah, right.
Call me back then.
But you never know. Mm-hmm. And, 70% of business comes from follow-up anyways. Or they're like, people don't answer the phone. I'm sure.
I called them once.
And
they didn't answer. And they haven't called me back. It's been a few weeks.
Right. Yeah. That's right. Right. But I did email them 10 times. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. They bought a house.
Right.
What happened?
There's so many things that I hear people tell me that they fail at, but have never tried. Ever. It's like people tell me, oh, I can't swim. Well, have you ever tried? No, but I just know I can't.
No, I can't.
Because the water scares me. A lot of things in life scare me. I don't know about you, that I love today. Right? Cincinnati Bengals scare the mess out of me, but I love them.
Right.
I love them. My cardiac cats. But yeah, a lot of things in life. And I think about it like, what if I would have never tried this? I would have never known I loved it.
Yeah, the thing is, and I think that's where everything will come back to the fact that it's hard to do something that you don't love for any period of time. We can all do things for short periods of time that we don't love, but to do it for the length of time that you've done it, there has to be a passion there.
That's that fire. That fire in your belly.
Or else it won't work. So let's go back to Cincinnati. So you've been there for a while. Are you born and raised Cincinnati?
Born and raised. Born and raised, yes.
Cincinnati. But you travel all over the country.
All over the country, yes. I have been, everywhere.
Right.
And I love it. Well, it was fun at first, but with 5 kids, I miss them so much, but I do love what I do. I do.
All the kids will raise themselves.
I know, right? No. I have so shout out to my fiance with 5 kids, just saying. Because he takes care of them. He does a great job. He does all 5 of them by himself.
Having a supportive partner helps make sure that you're able to do what you're able to do, and continue to get those commissions. So that was a good story about when it really mattered. Share a story about a time where the product that you were offering, that you helped the person sell, that really was.
I love. Yeah.
They had. That it changed their life, changed their business.
Oh, I love that. So it's going to be with Expresso Agent. He was, and I'll kind of keep names out of it just because, but he was a brand new agent. And now this was a cold call. I completely cold called him. And he said, it's funny. He said, I've only had my license for a week. And I said, well, congratulations. I said, what are you doing now? And he said, I'm calling people out of the yellow pages. I was like, recent. Yes, this is like in the past 2 years. Okay. I was really blown away. And I was like, it was Yellow Pages online though. I do remember him telling me that. I was like, wow, how are the Yellow Pages? And I kind of told my story of how I used to pull up Yelp. And he said, I didn't think about Yelp. That's a good idea. And I'm like, well, Yelp is right. Thanks for the advice, lady. But I said, well, Yelp is business owners, so stick with the white pages or it was the white pages. That's what it was. You're right. It was the white pages. Couldn't have been in Yellow Pages because that's business.
Right, it is too. Right.
Yeah, so white pages. And he's a brand new agent. And I was telling him all about Expresso Agent and what we offer. And, we give you contact data for high intent hand raisers, right? In your market. And, these are expireds. These are for sale by owners, for rent by owners. We give you all the tools to really help you dominate on the listing side of your business. He lets me do my whole elevator pitch, and he kind of sits there and he says, yeah, but I don't have $259. And I was like, fair enough. He said, I had no idea how much this industry was going to cost me when I first started. And, you know, I remember at that moment, I was like, okay, selling hat off. Like, and I feel like I kind of put my mom hat on, you know, for a second, because I could hear it in his voice that he just needed that motivation, you know? And I told him, I said, you know, I just kind of motivated him. And I was like, listen, you know, you can do this. How about I follow up? Like, when do you think you can get it? Do you have a credit card? Do you do that? And which was uncomfortable because I don't ever say that to any client ever. Like, well, you don't have a credit card, you can put it on?
Right.
What about borrowing it from your mom and dad, you know?
Right.
So I tried not to do that. But, and he tells me this time frame of when he's going to get it back, you know, when he can have the $259. And I thought, when I call him back, he's probably not even going to answer. Well, lo and behold, a week later, I call him back and he answers. And he said, I've been waiting for you to call. He said, let's do this. And he did it. And he signed up, you know, month to month. No, he did not sign up for a contract, which would have gave him a lower price point, right? So he said, because I don't know where my next $250 is going to come from. So let's just do this
Like,
month
this
by
has
month.
to work.
This better work, lady. And within his first week with Expresso Agent, he set 7 listing appointments, took on a $1 million like listing, like this $1 million home that apparently all these agents in this area were like all trying to go after this house. And this homeowner chose this new agent. And I remember asking him, I said, why, like, did you ask her why she chose you over, you know, these like other agents that have done 30 transactions just this year? And he said, yeah, she told me because I had passion and nobody else did. And he is a top producing agent now. Like, yeah, like doing very well. He has a team, very large team. But I remember talking to him when he was just like
A week in the business.
yes, a week into the business.
So that goes back to the fire in the belly.
Yeah.
So your fire in the belly helped you really believe in the products you have
Absolutely.
to sell to him.
Absolutely.
And his fire in the belly let him do the work part. Because the other thing, the piece you said earlier was the effort. We do have to, you can't get the results without the effort.
Unless
I
you
mean,
got
you can. And
got a genie in a bottle, you can.
It's what they would say as an unjust enrichment.
Right. Yeah.
So then usually the universe has a way of balancing that out.
At some point in time. Absolutely right. Right.
And they take it back and then maybe even go a little bit the other way.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And I've seen it happen. You know, I think as humans, though, sometimes it's like we want to watch that happen for some people, you know, because we're like, well, that's not fair. Like, why do they get that? And what we don't see is that it does. You know, sometimes it's behind closed doors, right? It happens.
You'll see that on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. You'll see that on Facebook or Instagram. Yeah.
So what do you like to do outside of, you know, because we always see each other at conferences and things like that. What do you like to do outside of that? You know, and spending time with the family and
yes. So outside, I don't know anything besides being a mom. I don't like. So I guess it's just really just hanging. You know what I mean? Just a good conversation like this. Like honestly, like this to me is like everything. Like this is what I love more than anything. And I don't know, but it's like I love being a mom. Yeah, just enjoying people, good people.
Yeah,
good people. Yeah, I'm not judging you the whole time.
right.
I'm
that wrong. I'm wrong. I'm wrong set. No,
right.
So you know, and that's yeah, and this is good because a lot of times in sales, and you can tell when it's you know, transactional.
Oh, absolutely.
Just a number. Okay, next.
Yes, absolutely.
Next.
It's funny because when I sell, I feel like now with the position I'm with Expresso Agent, and I promise I say it 50 times a day at a conference. I'll say, I don't work on a sales quota and I don't have commission. And then I kind of elaborate on that and I tell them that passion you hear comes from me believing in this product wholeheartedly, you know, because it's like nobody else is going to like people don't talk like that unless they're getting a big fat check, you know, or like, you know, my highs and lows and, you know, how I start to speed up just to slow down, or I'm asking all the questions. And it really is. It's from the passion. It's from the passion of just like the product, and because I watched it work. And I think that's like really was like that turning point for me with this career. Yeah.
Just
Right. Espresso Agent set me up. That was probably a whole stage phone call and everything.
right. He called you back. Yeah, good news. You work. I sold XYZ. I use your product.
Right.
And everything's great.
Yeah.
So
it was funny. I was telling an agent about earlier today about so with the second home I purchased, we have 40 windows. 40. Now this is big bay windows. These are like, sorry, I have a point. I promise. I know I just went from this to windows, but I had the same guy sending me mailers. Forever. Like I was just like, this guy, like his business.
relentless.
Yeah.
But
I sold that house and I moved into my new house and I still got mailers from him. I was like, how did he find me? I don't know if he just found me or if it was just like the neighborhood.
Tracy.
Right.
No.
I work Expresso Agent. I'm just going to use it Espresso Agent. Right. So he said, I wish I had a piece of paper so I could show you. But so I bought windows recently. And when I bought windows, I called that man with the mailer. One, because of his efforts, right? And like I said, 40 windows. Like this guy was like, he was like, cha-ching, like all he could see was dollar signs. I mean, that's a lot of dough, man. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
All new windows too. And I have big French doors and big bay windows, and it was a lot of windows. Anyways, but this mailer came and it was like crumbled up. So when I pulled it out of the envelope, I was like, why does it look like this? I'm like, oh man, he's recycling paper now. Like he has got no business.
Right. Sometimes I gotta put an X on the front of the paper.
Yeah. So it is, yes, right. In big bold letters, the first sentence said, I've gone through the trouble of pre-crumpling this paper. I was like, I like this. That's why I called him.
Did it come in a little trash can?
No, it came in an envelope. There's a little trash can.
So listen, we've got the little trash.
So this is like a thing. So I'm late then.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
But the postage right in the little plastic trash can. The postage, the mailing address, the postage right on it. Yeah. They said about school.
That's old school, huh?
That would have been old school Craig Proctor, or the lumpy mail, 3D mail, the different.
I have never seen it. So that, yeah, but it was his effort. Yeah. That I was so. My fiance says, well, we got to do some research into the, getting windows. I said, I know who I'm calling.
Yeah, the person that put the effort in.
Yeah, the person that sent me, mailers for 7 years. That's the guy I'm calling.
Yeah. And we always say, just like with anything, you can do sweat equity, which is the work.
Mm-hmm.
You can do check equity, where you just run a big billboard, put in a Super Bowl ad, and hope that the
right.
Or you do both.
Right.
You do both. You combine your effort with a little bit of
sweat.
Coins,
and coins. Yeah.
You get magic. You generate business.
That sounds like a good potion.
Yeah.
You got some of that bottled up somewhere?
I know. We could sell it. We could sell it. If I find it,
look, we got sales Super Bowls and
right.
The special potions.
Right.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in the next for your business and whether with this company or just in your sales career, where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
So I want to be a real estate agent.
Okay.
I do. I really, really want to be a real estate agent. So I never told you about that story, but we can do that another time. But like I said, when I really realized that I love sales, I remember we were driving in the car and this car next to me, I can't even remember what kind of car it was, but the license plate said real estate agent. Like, it was like, I don't know how they have it spelled out, or maybe it just said it said real estate agent.
Yeah.
Anyway,
or something
like that. And I was like, wow, like that's what I want to do. I want to be a real estate agent.
I bet they were driving a fancy car too. If you have to if you're putting that on the plane.
Yeah.
Usually,
oh yeah. If you put that, yes.
Fancy car.
Yeah, probably. It's probably like a Maserati. I don't know. The neighborhood I lived in, probably not. They were probably showing a pre-foreclosure or something.
I don't know. Right. I don't know. But you saw that and you said, that's what I want.
Yes, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. And so we'll see. I just had twins 2 years ago. So I know one boy, one girl. Oh, yeah. One boy, one girl.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't just.
They keep you busy.
Oh.
A little bit, I guess.
Yeah. And it's crazy because they're like, I'm done after this, right? 5 kids, I'm done. And they're the craziest out of all of them. Like,
youngest. It's always those youngest.
They're crazy. Don't be fooled by the first one. Okay. You think you got to figure it out. You don't. But so I just, I probably, be a real estate agent. Or be on your team one day, Mel.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
I'd say, no, you would be, I mean, you've done all the different sales. We need to complete the trifecta.
Yeah,
and get
I know, right? And I have so much knowledge about the industry. Like I tell somebody, like a lot of times I have to tell an agent, like I'm not a real estate agent, but I do know a lot.
And I know the scripts. And I know
yes, like.
And I practice a lot. And I actually work a lot. I do the effort.
That's right. I do the effort, like willingly. So where are you going to find that? Somebody that wants to cold call. Prospect. We'll say prospect.
Right.
Yeah. Prospect. Yeah. Like I would love to. I think I would just tear it up.
No, I think you'd be great.
Yeah.
You'd be great at it.
I would tear it up.
Let's see. I got a quote of the day.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's see what we got. Okay. I think anything is possible if you have the mindset and the will and desire to do it and put in the time.
Well,
Clemens.
Just so everyone knows, like this was not like our conversation was not rehearsed. So, and that quote, I had no idea you were going to say that quote, but that was everything we just talked about. Yeah. That's really cool.
It's magic.
It is magic. A potion.
Right.
The
potion, right. I got that bottle of it.
That's all right. I'm going to be the Super Bowl champ.
So, so let me ask. So if we wanted to either have you talk to you about leads for agents, or or reach out to you for other sales opportunities, how would we reach you? What's the best way to reach you?
Via email, probably. But yeah.
Sure.
All the spam. I don't.
Okay.
I never get stuff. So it would be, so it's going to be Carrie with like the scary movie. So CARRIE, the letter D. So Carrie D at expressoagent.com. So espresso like the coffee. There's not an X in there. Just like the coffee. Yep. Carrie D at espressoagent.com.
Carrie D at espressoagent.com.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And put a subject line in that will catch my attention.
Show some effort.
That's right. You've been listening.
Right. Well, we got to show effort here.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.